am Joffey Joe, and this is the show, call it How I See It. And on today's episode, I got a couple of things I want to talk to you all about. First and foremost, I have the first appearance of a good family friend of mine. He goes by the name of Jimmy Craig. He is on, big Eagles fan, and we're going to talk Eagles football. Oh yeah. Secondly, I have another quadra box full of my homies, Carlitos Way World, the return of Joe Valo, and also the return of Chris Sepulveda, aka Seppy. So it's going to be fun. We're going to talk some basketball as the basketball season is about to approach. And there's some things that we got to talk about, including who is really the beast of the East. And thirdly, I have a tribute to the late great Pete Rose, as the Hit King, deservedly so, belongs in the Hall of Fame. So I pitch my pitch to Robert Manfred, who needs to let this guy in the Hall of Fame. It's overdue, and it's time. It's really time for Pete Rose to be in the Hall of Fame, really. So you don't want to miss out on this action-packed episode. All right, and here we go. And look who do we have for this week's episode. I have a very good friend of mine, very close family friend, and he goes by the name of Jimmy Craig. How are you doing, Jim?
Me?
Yeah, you. How you doing?
Yeah. I'm good. I got hurt. I broke 5 ribs. I'm very sensitive.
Oh, you poor guy. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying is...
What are you saying? Tell me what you got to say. Okay, go ahead.
We lost the 2 coordinators, and we can't play for shit now. I don't know what to do.
It's like the same thing as last year. It's coming right into light in this year. But is that Sirianni, or is it the people playing on the field?
Man, I don't know. We lost. We were 10-1. I thought I was going to win the championship. Or go to it.
Ever since this guy started yelling at the Kansas City Chiefs fans, everything went downhill. It's like the NFL's like punishing us.
I'm not a Kansas City fan, but I'm going to admit.
Like after we won that game, that's when things went downhill. Yeah, we beat Buffalo last year, but everything since has really gone downhill. And I mean, Jalen Hurts is at the helm of that, is he not?
Oh, no, yeah, but I'm saying one thing. Nobody's better than Mahomes. Nobody.
No, I agree. I mean, right now, I
hated when Tom Brady ran the league for 10 years. I hated it, but he was good.
He was good.
Mahomes is the same level.
No, I agree.
I don't understand how people this strong and this big cannot be at the same level as each other. I don't get it.
No, you're right. I mean, we've seen Mahomes develop and everything.
All these guys are superstars. Why can't we even win a game? Well, we can't.
Because we don't have a superstar, Jay.
I don't think the Eagles win more than 8 games this year.
I think what's ahead of us, because of our schedule, it's not so difficult. I think what's ahead of us, we win the easy games, but when we play the better teams, we're going to lose. And then maybe we get a wild card game like we did last year versus the Buccaneers or somebody, and then they kick us out just like they did last year. I don't see us doing anything, especially with Jalen Hurts is just taking such a step back. I think like what we saw, he was a 1-year wonder. I think the film is out on him. It's just the turnovers and everything. He's holding our team back. It's just like clear as light. I mean, we have Saquon, we have these weapons and stuff.
I love young Jalen, but I don't know if he's the answer.
You like young Jalen?
But when you pay Trevor Lawrence $275, Jalen $250, and you're throwing this cash at these people, I mean, right. I don't understand you.
Right. No, I don't either. Honestly, like
I mean, you're throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at people that are average. I'm not saying Jalen is average. I'm starting to think now he may be not average, but above average.
He's an above average quarterback.
You watch the games. He fumbles every day.
Oh, dude, he makes mistakes left and right. Left and right, he makes mistakes, and he holds our team back. And you know, every week, dude. Every week.
I'm at the point now where you're kind of like, I just don't know.
I'd rather have you as a backup quarterback, honestly. Like that's what you were drafted as. He wasn't drafted to be a starting quarterback.
Could Baker Mayfield be our daddy every year?
You like that?
Baker Mayfield's our daddy.
Yeah.
Our daddy.
Yeah, you like Mayfield?
I'm going to call him dad. I'll hug him. I'll wrap him around. Whatever I got to do. But he wins games. Am I wrong?
No, he does. And like even last week, like that throw against Slay, he makes throws, bro. He makes throws.
I'm not a Baker Mayfield fan. I hate Cleveland. And then that video about P. Diddy shit with him, I don't know if it's true. I think it's AI, but whatever. I'm not against P. Diddy or anybody. But
yeah, you are. You should be.
How the fuck does Baker Mayfield beat the piss out of us 2 years in a row? Am I wrong?
No, dude. Even like the year, even like it's just
piss out of us.
Yes,
we sit there watching the game like, oh my god, it's 28-0, and I have broken ribs, and I'm sitting there like, oh god, no.
It's like I can't believe this almost. No, I mean, dude, it just shows, like, I think right now Baker Mayfield is just a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts is, honestly. Like, he makes better throws, he makes better reads.
Better. I can't.
He was a number 1 pick, bro. I mean, like, in tangibles and skill set, he was a number 1 pick. Jalen Hurts wasn't drafted to be a starting quarterback. He wasn't. I think his skill set is showing that. Like, honestly, like, he doesn't run fast. He doesn't throw the ball hard. Like, what does he do that stands out? He talks really good in a huddle. Like, I don't know. Like, he's a great leader. He's a motivational speaker. Like, it's corny, bro. I'm tired of it.
28-0 to Baker Mayfield. I never did.
No, I didn't either, bro. It's just like...
No. Tell me, you watch that game, you're like, what the fuck? Oh, that's what I said.
Yeah,
My dad
dude,
calls me from Florida.
I couldn't
He goes,
believe it.
"Oh, you're doing a good job today." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up, man. I'm eating this."
I know.
But why? Why are we so bad? Why is our defensive cornerbacks can't cover? They don't cover.
Well, they play so much zone.
As the cornerbacks.
They play so much zone. I don't understand why they can't press more. Jam people at the line of scrimmage. We've been doing this for years, bro. And I just don't understand the philosophy of trying to like play so much soft coverage where people just take advantage of us, carve us up, get in rhythms and shit. It's been like it doesn't even matter if it's from Fangio to these other guys. It's been the same thing, bro.
No, I'm agreeing. But when you watch a team down 20 something to nothing, I don't want to lie on the score, and you're watching it and you're sitting there like. Huh? That's crazy.
I know. Dude, I knew this game was over after the first drive. Honestly, after the first drive, I was like, all right, we're done, bro. This is it. This is it. We're not going to be better than what we're watching here.
All I'm saying is, like, we're the Eagles. We're not a scrub team.
Right.
But last year, what was the score in the playoff game last year? I don't know.
It was like similar to this score. I don't have the numbers exactly, but it was.
I don't know
very
if that
similar
was an AI, a fake thing when they did the message on Facebook. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you one thing. We got our asses kicked. And I just don't understand it. Because when you're a quarterback, I don't know.
No,
Baker
you should.
Mayfield, I like Baker Mayfield. I don't just like the kid.
Yeah.
He's good.
Right now, he's just better than Jalen Hurts is. That's just plain and simple, bro.
Is he better than Jalen Hurts?
He's playing better football right now than Jalen Hurts is.
Football. Is he better? I don't know.
I mean, I think at throwing the ball and putting the ball into tight spots, I think he does that better than Jalen Hurts. Maybe, obviously, he's not a better runner. But, dude, what happened when he was running the ball? He trucked Reed Blankenship for a touchdown like it was nothing. Like, Reed Blankenship was, like, getting drugged by the ankles by Baker Mayfield. And that was not a good look. That just was a symbol of what the Eagles looked like that day. Just Baker Mayfield owned them. And it was really bad. So
I watched the game. I watched the game. And
I couldn't believe it.
I sat there like, oh, my God, what is going on? But, honestly, maybe you're right. I don't know. I mean, I love young Jalen, but I just don't get.
I'm over this experience, bro. I really am. I'm really over the Jalen Hurts experience. I think we got the best out of him.
I don't understand how Baker Mayfield beats us like that.
Like senseless.
Twice or 3 times.
Senseless, bro. He's got our number, bro. He's got our number.
I mean.
But where do we go from here after the bye week? Like we play Cleveland when we get back.
We're on bye week now?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, we have a bye week this week, and then we play Cleveland, and then we have our schedule isn't too hard. I think Dallas has a harder schedule than us this year, but like.
Yeah, but you know what, Dallas. The first week of the season, they looked like the greatest team I've ever saw.
Yeah.
Then the second week, they were like disgusting.
I know.
So I don't know what anyone does.
No, it's. I mean, I can definitely say that about the NFL this year. There's no like clear cut team. Like the Chiefs, they've been squeaking by winning, but they haven't been like clear. I thought Buffalo.
They 4-0.
They are 4-0, so.
That helps. But what I'm saying this though. I love Jordan Love. I wish he was our quarterback. I really do.
Yeah, he's
I'm
a great young quarterback. I'm the biggest fan of Jordan
Love. And if you ever showed me a quarterback with a young guy with potential,
yeah,
I love the kid.
That's the kid.
He sat on the bench for 2 years while Rodgers went to the Jets the next year.
Yeah.
But I love Jordan Love. He's a stud, man.
So
I don't see our future coming good
with Jalen Hurts. No, I think this is it, bro. This is it. I think just with Jalen Hurts at the helm, it's just a wild card seed, maybe one playoff win. I think.
How much do we owe him? $150 million? $200?
I mean,
$2 million.
I think after this year he'll be owed just 100 left because he has 2 more years after this deal. After this year, so.
I mean, I love the young kid. I'm not talking.
I know we root for the guy, we do, but like at the end of the day, the action show on the field. You know, like you could talk a fair game.
I mean, they're paying like.
It's stupid money, bro. Like we can be paying people that would do better.
Can you imagine the Jacksonville Jaguars 0-4? Paying that fucking money.
That's like brutal, bro. Like someone has to get. They're gonna get rid of Doug Peterson.
He lost the last 8 games.
Yeah, I know. They're worse than us, bro.
We're gonna pay him because we have no choice. I mean, it's a business. It's a business.
No, for sure. No, for sure.
You know what blows me away the most?
What?
Is fucking Sam Darnold 4-0 on the Vikings.
But that's good coaching. Kevin O'Connell knows how to coach. That's good coaching.
He looks like the best quarterback in the league.
Remember Dobbs looked good? Remember, but like when we go back to
fantasy league, I start him.
But like if we go back to last year, like Joshua Dobbs, like I mean, he kind of like I think he actually looked bad when he went to Minnesota, so that might not be the best example.
Maybe Darnold was not that bad.
No, he wasn't. But like when we think about it, he was a top 3 pick. It was just his decision making, the organization, the pieces around him. But like on a team like this, he can look good.
My cousin, greatest athlete in my whole family, was David Klingler on Cincinnati.
Yeah.
He got 7 concussions. He looked like dog ass. He played 3 years. He got the pension. You know David Klingler.
Yeah.
They call him the biggest draft bust ever. But you know what though? He was a hell of an athlete, a hell of a nice guy.
Yeah. Sometimes those expectations are hard to live up on.
So you don't know in football unless you're on the right situation. Where you're at. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right about that. Being in the right spot at the right time makes everything.
Hitting him for 98-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
fucking Jefferson on my fantasy team. I almost jacked off twice. Had him in 2 leagues. But how the fuck does that happen? The guy couldn't play on the Jets. He got benched. He sucked dog dick. But now he's probably the best quarterback in the league. Am I wrong?
I mean, right now, dude, he's playing like an MVP caliber quarterback. He really is. But like I'm saying, that's coaching, bro. That's good coaching. Putting people in the right spots. Like Kevin O'Connell is a good coach. He is a good coach. So like,
but I'll never understand football because
yeah, I don't think I
will
will either.
Football, but like the worst one is I'm sorry, curse.
No, it's okay, bro.
I drafted fucking McCaffrey. Fuck. In 3 leagues,
yeah,
he's out for the year. He's out for the year, and here I am sucking my cock again. Here I am. I can't draft right. Now I'm in last place in all the leagues. He's in.
Go figure.
And I sit here and I'm like, did I do it again? Yes, I did. I did it again. But what are you gonna do? I want to hug him on the sideline, give him a hug, but we're done. I'm done.
What happened last week in fantasy between us and our league?
You beat my ass and
you're
an asshole. I'm so mad at you.
Who's first place in that league? Who's in first place? Who's in first place? Come on, give Poppy some credit.
McCaffrey.
I mean, dude, I took Tyreek Hill. I mean, it's not like it's like much better in my world. And that the other league I took CD, which was smart.
This guy 2 years, and the other 8 years he's the best player in the league. But when I get him, he's out for the year. And I just sat there. And then you know Jeff from work.
Yeah.
He's like, thanks for drafting him, buddy. I'm like, what I didn't mean. I didn't know he was out for the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Get out of here.
Exactly.
I mean, who would you have drafted if you had the first pick?
That was a no-brainer. You have to take CMC.
Yeah, but we did 2 leagues together, and both years he was out.
Yeah,
and he looks at me, he's like, dude, thanks a lot. I'm like, bro, come on, man. I didn't know it. Did you know he was hurt? And then he gets mad at me, and I'm like, yeah, it's fucking great, bro. I knew McCaffrey, my favorite football player, is going to be out for the year again. But because I took him, I'm done. And then, I'm done. And then
you done? And then what?
Our second player's out too. I just don't even get football. I mean,
football is a big freaking paradox that we'll never understand, bro. It's not for us to understand.
You sit there, you do fantasy football, and I love it.
Yeah.
But I said, look, whatever you do, I'll give you the team. I'll let you do it. But he wanted CD Lamb, and I said, I don't want CD Lamb. No, that's what he wanted. So I said, I'm taking McCaffrey. You do the rest of it. So now today I'm like, I'm the dickhead. I took our running back, and I leaned back, and he was like, good pick, and I'm like, I didn't know. Would you know?
Nah, nobody knows. Fantasy football is a big conundrum that we don't know.
But the one league I'm 8-0, double win, double loss.
Yeah.
And I'm 8-0. Then my other 6 leagues I'm like 4-4, and one of them I'm 6-2-6.
Well, congrats, bro. Congrats.
I'm just.
Hopefully you can finish strong here.
You beat me today.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not good this year. I'm not good. But
I mean, dude, you never know, bro. Fantasy football,
How
you never
the hell
know.
do you get McCaffrey? He gets hurt before the first game.
It was very, everything with that was very shady, and I feel bad for people that took him number 1, but I'm luckily I didn't have to take him, so I was in that position. So, dude, it happens. It's fantasy football. We don't know. That's just what it is. But Jay, I gotta close up shop here though. All right, I appreciate I appreciate you having you on, and I look to have you on more in the future so we can talk some more Birds football.
All right, see you, bro. Have a good night.
You
Love
too, man.
Bye.
You be safe. All right. All right, here we go. I'm gonna test the Quadra box on the homies. So I'm gonna go down the line. How you doing, Carlitos?
What's up, Joffey? What's good?
Chilling, man. How you doing, Joe?
Hey.
How you doing, Chris? Welcome back, Chris.
You already know. Back in the cut. It's been a while.
Well, loud enough.
Yes, you guys are sounding perfect and good in my ears. So for this episode, we have had a lot of going on in the NBA. The NBA season's coming up. We just had a big trade happen last week with the New York Knicks that I ain't feeling. But I want to dive into what happened in that trade because the Eastern Conference in the NBA looks very intriguing this year, especially since there might be 6 to 5 teams this year maybe that might be gunning for the Celtics spot. So, mind you, I want to dive in and talk about the Knicks trade. So, Joe, I'm going to let you start off first, all right?
Personally, I feel like the Knicks got better, but they didn't get better than anybody else.
Okay.
So I feel like Cat is an upgrade over Randall
Right.
for that team. But I also feel like Cat is the worst when you look at the Celtics and the Sixers and the Knicks and also the Bucks. You can throw them in there. Cat is the worst second option. Like Cat is a little bit better than Porzingis. The only difference with that is Porzingis is the third or fourth best player on the Celtics. Sometimes the fifth best player on the Celtics.
Right.
Cat will consistently have to be the second best player every night. Maybe Mikal could be the second best player some nights, but most of the nights Cat will have to have that second best player responsibility, and I don't think that makes them better than anybody else. It makes them better than they were, but it doesn't make them better than the Sixers, the Celtics. I feel like it leaves them right there with third or fourth with the Bucks.
Okay. What do you think, Chris?
Me personally, it's kind of weird. It's kind of like a double-edged sword a little bit. I think, yeah, they kind of upgraded, but it's not like a crazy upgrade. Yeah, granted, Cat can open up the floor. He's definitely a way better three-point shooter than what they fucking have. Because what they have, what's his name? Frankenstein?
Hardenstein.
And then they have Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah.
None of them are going to open up the floor the way Cat does.
Right.
But I feel like, honestly, they could have got away with it. I feel like they could have figured out a way to keep DiVincenzo on there. Because I feel like taking him away I feel like in a sense kind of like damaged their chemistry a little bit because these are the Nova boys. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
these are the championship team. They done this shit. You know what I mean? Like, why would you take away a part of that puzzle?
No, I hear you.
Also, DiVincenzo is like a great fucking six man. Like, I don't think they should have gave up for him. And they should have probably figured out a way to maybe like give him some draft picks, maybe throw a little more money. But overall, I wouldn't say it's like the Knicks probably got this.
They wouldn't have got Cat if they didn't throw Dante in there.
I know that.
I feel like they could have figured it out because honestly, let's be real here. Cat's stock has gone down. Yeah, he might have his games where he'll fucking throw up like 50 points or some shit. What he had that shit this season, right?
Yeah.
Where he had like a crazy game where he did that shit.
Yeah.
But this guy's always injured.
Down. His stock has gone down since when?
I mean, he had that like all-star game that was really
because
good.
He's a liability now. He doesn't make it to the playoffs that deep. Every single season during the playoffs when they really need his ass, he's always injured.
I mean, I feel like his stock was going down the year before last year, and this past year it went back up. Because he was pretty good as the secondary player.
But wasn't that also it was like a contribution from Anthony Edwards too? Like he helped like elevate his play.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like his stock went up last year. It was going down and it went back up.
Right.
I mean, it's always going to be easier to score and do all this and be more comfortable with what you have when you have somebody like Anthony Edwards to be the leader of that team.
Right.
I mean, like I said,
Cat has been there longer too, but obviously
he's not better.
Ant's aura is different. It's way stronger than fucking Cat's. Like, immediately, when you see him play and you see what he does, you got to give him the reins to the fucking team.
It's not even that. I mean, Cat is not... It can't be the best player on any contender.
No, he's going to be a second or third option.
For sure.
But even so, right? Like, I just want Knicks fans to taper their expectations because the Timberwolves are right there in being able to contend. Why would they feel like getting rid of Cat is an upgrade if they want to win and they're right there in a position to win?
No, you're right. I mean, that's definitely a big thing.
I feel like it's less of having to worry about having to get him involved. And sometimes I feel like when Cat is like playing really good, everybody else is not playing that great.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, like Cat demands a lot with the ball sometimes when he's like going through his offensive streaks, but like he's either hot or gets cold, and then when he gets cold, he affects like the whole team where they start getting behind. That's at least what's happened sometimes in scenarios with the Minnesota Timberwolves. But I mean, also too, I mean, reuniting with Tibbs is a big thing too. I mean, like Tibbs knows how to use Cat pretty well, even though he's not like gonna run him in the ground, given his like stamina and everything with his injury history. But I mean, there is definitely a fit there, seeing that he's familiar with the way Tibbs is asking what's being asked for on the floor and stuff. So I mean, that's definitely gonna be something to keep an eye on. I mean, but you go ahead.
I think in the beginning of the season, it's going to be real rocky for them.
Yeah.
They're going to be trying to figure out how to put Cat in certain plays and how to get him to work with the squad that they already had. That they had established. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like the pieces were there. I don't really think they needed Karl Anthony Towns over there.
I mean, just because they didn't have a center and they get panicked just because like it shows that Mitchell Robinson's not really ready, and then like they still don't know what to really do with Mitchell Robinson. They're putting him on the trade block now because they don't believe him to be available. So they might even have to pick up another center down the line or figure out some type of situation.
Definitely before deadline. That's what I'm thinking. If anything, they should have just waited until before the trade deadline.
Well, I mean,
what they want to stick with. Because honestly, you only need somebody to kind of just be big and be able to shoot.
Yeah, I mean, he does that. Don't get me wrong, but like in a situation like this, though, you don't want to shoot out the gym.
Coming with, like, you're gonna have to go against Joel. You're gonna have to go against Porzingis. You're gonna have to go against Giannis. Like, the best thing for you is to just stay in the fucking corner and make it easier for your fucking team to be able to go in. For Jalen Brunson to be able to just easily go in, make plays, and just play what he does. And just, I think it's gonna be big for them. But I don't know. I feel like it might be bad for them too in the long run, depending on honestly his health.
Yeah.
If this motherfucker crashes out before they get to the fucking playoffs, what's the fucking point of him even coming there?
No, I agree.
That's not even true because last year Randall wasn't there. And look,
They still had a good run, so that's why he.
Yeah, but they couldn't win.
and now they got a hold on. They were never supposed to win. But before last year, we weren't looking at the Knicks in any type of winning scenario. So the fact that they got there without
They always have potential. They always have potential. As soon as Jalen Brunson touched down and the Knicks and he really started playing.
Jalen Brunson was Jalen Brunson when he got there. If people knew that, the whole league would have tried to get him.
Yeah, it would have been a different scenario.
I mean, I thought I feel like he showed a lot of that.
Expectations last year.
But if you watch
playing
Dallas
like house
play,
money.
you seen what Jalen Brunson can do when you watch Dallas play.
What'd you say, Joffey?
No, I said the Knicks were playing with house money last year because,
Exactly.
like you said, everything was like a big bonus.
Going back to your point, if you watch Jalen Brunson in Dallas, his own coach benched him in their last playoff series in Dallas, so he didn't even know Jalen Brunson was Jalen Brunson.
But
So
There was a game or two where Luka was he? I feel like he was like out. Something was going on.
the last
Jalen
playoff
Brunson-
series in Dallas, he got benched.
Jalen Brunson had a couple games where he was showing what he could do as himself, as the talent that he is.
Yes.
I don't think it was that unexpected, but for him to be an all-star, I feel like that was unexpected.
So for him to be not for him to be an all-star was unexpected, but for him to be a top 5 point guard in the league today, it was definitely unexpected. Nobody was expecting that.
No.
So going back to what you said, if Cat's injured, what's the point? Well, Randall was injured last year, so you might as well take a
chance.
gamble on
Right.
Cat, because if you got there with a injured Randall that wasn't even there, now you got a whole training camp to implement OG, and you got Mikal Bridges now. They got better even if they didn't add Cat. So I feel like you needed that firepower to mess with Philadelphia, to mess with the Bucks, and to mess with the Celtics. Because at the end of the day, Jalen Brunson is 6'2".
Not even.
Like, he needs another star out there.
No, for sure. I mean,
That's
the
what Anunoby
Celtics.
is there for.
Well, that's
He's there for
yeah.
defense.
He's a defender. He's not a 20-point. He's not a 20-point scorer at night. He's out there to go for the best. He's more of like a 15.
He could definitely be a 20-point. Wasn't he doing that in Toronto?
He had like one good game against us, I think, where he put up 27, where he came back from the bench.
He can score 20. I'm not saying he can't. I'm saying
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think
not
he
asked
can
for him.
average 20.
No, it's not asked for him. But in terms of the starting five, though, I mean, like the Celtics set this precedent. I mean, they're paying $1 billion now for a starting five lineup. So the Knicks are trying to follow suit. The Sixers are trying to create their best five. The Bucks have their best five. It's just like there's a lot going on. Even we can't even underestimate the Pacers in this situation too. Like they're going to be lingering around. Other teams got better. So it's going to be very interesting in the East. But I mean, definitely like these 4 teams, I definitely would put at the pleasure of the Eastern Conference. Could be interchangeable. Like I don't know, maybe another year under Doc Rivers, maybe these guys do play better. It's either going to work or it doesn't work with the Bucks.
It worse another year under Doc Rivers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that turns out. But like at everything the way it is right now, and then like as media day just passed by us and stuff, to see where things are setting up, it's just the East is gonna be very interesting to watch. I could see any of these 4 teams being the top seed or interchangeable, but it's definitely gonna be these 4 for sure at the end of the year. Carlitos, how you doing over there, man? You alright?
Yeah, man, just chilling, enjoying your guys, your debates and stuff. So, I like to do something fun for the show. Since you guys are talking about the trade,
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna just read somebody's tweet, a random tweet, and you guys tell me how you think, what you guys think about whatever I'm about to read. All right?
Yes.
Guys, ready? This guy's from, I don't know what's the first name, but the last name is Spectrum. It's crazy that the Knicks traded Julius Randle when he's going to average 40, 20, 10 next year.
40,
What
20,
does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah,
I'll tell you what that means. That means that guy
Yeah.
doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I mean, to say that, that's really nuts.
Means he's going to shoot 40% from the field, 20% from 3, and probably have about 10 points per game.
I thought he was in terms of using like the stat padding at it.
He comment on his own tweet and said Drake is dead now, right? Like he's no longer alive. Question mark. So
Yes.
for people that don't understand on NBA talk, do you guys know what you're talking about?
Yeah, he's just talking the talk. He's not even like saying anything reasonable or logical.
But he's one of those guys that got traded.
Yeah,
right?
he's one of those. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
But 40, 20, and 10 is the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see that happening. I mean, he definitely worded. I don't think Valo. I don't think he worded it in the way like when he said that. I don't think this guy means it in a way where this guy's gonna put up 40% from field goal percentage. I think he meant more like 40 points per game.
Julius Randle that tweeted that.
Oh, really? Well, I mean,
It's
it ain't gonna
some
happen,
shit
bro. That
because,
team's
like,
too
what
good.
the
If anything,
fuck-
those numbers are gonna go to Ant. So like, it's not gonna go to him. So he's gotta, I don't know. He's gotta be a little realistic here. But
you better spread out the fucking floor.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like they should just kept. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the whole pressure. They have this whole dilemma with Rudy Gobert too. Like, what do you do with him? Like, you're paying him a lot of money too. So like, It's either you have like a center, a traditional center with Gobert, or you have Cat play the 5 because both of them on the court together just wasn't working, and it showed
I feel like
dividends.
the NBA has come to an agreement that Cat is not a 5. Like they just traded for Cat. He was a 4 because Rudy Gobert was at the 5.
But in the
Now
system
they're
with the Knicks,
looking to
though,
make him a 4
but
on their team.
on a system with the Knicks, he can be the 5 though. You know what I mean? Like where he can run with them and it's
Robinson
okay.
comes back. I feel like.
But bro, he's not. Dude, this guy can barely walk, Jay. Like it's not. He's not gonna be anything.
Against the Sixers, I guarantee you, it's not Cat guarding Embiid.
Exactly, but I mean, I think the Knicks are ready to move on from Mitchell Robinson because he's never available. I mean, unless he wants to play Joel Embiid because he has some vendetta against Embiid or some shit where he shuts him down. So I don't know, but we'll see how that goes. But I mean, what do you think about the Sixers right now, Joe?
What?
What do you think about the Sixers right now?
The Sixers, honestly, I feel like this might be a homer pick, but I'm picking us to win the East this season.
Really? How do you feel about that, Chris?
The Sixers win the East.
Yeah. But go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Valo.
I feel like we're eight deep, solid. We got Drummond off the bench, Jared McCain off the bench, Eric Gordon. I don't know if he's going to start or come off the bench. We got a lot of players. Caleb Martin, Kelly Oubre. These guys are all solid players.
Got the guy from France too.
I can't hear you. Did you say something?
I said they got the guy from France too.
Yes, him. And to be honest, I know we got Paul George, but
They got Reggie Jackson too.
Yeah,
Reggie Jackson as well. That's great.
Another
I don't know if Kyle Lowry's still there. I don't
Yeah,
think he's still
they did bring back Kyle Lowry.
there.
Unfortunately,
Kyle Lowry's still there. That's
Unfortunately,
good.
yeah.
That's good for Maxey. But honestly,
Third
I think
option.
we got Paul George. I'm happy we got Paul George. I'm very happy about that. But other than Paul George, I feel like our biggest upgrade this season will once again be Maxey's development. How much better can Maxey get?
Yeah, I mean, we saw him hit new levels last year, so it's gonna be interesting to see like what is that next level for Mr. Maxey.
And see, this is one thing I wanted to talk about on the show. Like Chris and Joffey, I feel like most people, NBA fans, just
10 minutes.
right now, everybody's just saying that Brunson is better than Maxey. Everybody's saying that, right?
Yeah.
Right? We could say that, Brunson's probably a little bit better player than Maxey right now.
Yeah.
With that being said, Maxey's coming into his 5th year. He's only 23 years old. He averaged 26 points per game last season. And Brunson is 28 years old. If Maxey can take another step, he is right there with Brunson.
I mean, when it comes to
And
driving to the rim
Sixers
too, he's
second best
unstoppable.
Huh?
I mean, sorry to cut you in. I was just gonna say, like, when it comes to driving to the rim, I don't think that there's really anybody better. He just like sometimes he oversteps himself, but in terms of that, in terms of his health, I give that category over to him over Brunson. So
From last season, I'm
Right.
saying, what if he takes a step this season, which is very likely? He's only 23. He's the hardest working person on the Sixers, one of the hardest working people in the NBA. That guy's got a crazy work ethic. He's got crazy athleticism. Who knows where his ceiling is? I don't think he capped off last season. He was only 22 years old.
No, I agree.
think he'll getting better.
I think so too. I just think there's only room for improvement with him, just because of his work ethic and everything involved. He definitely wants to get better and be a better player. So the Sixers.
I think Seppy take this year. I saw Joel Embiid. I don't like Joel Embiid. I haven't been a big Joel Embiid fan throughout my career, throughout his career, because he doesn't make anybody better.
No.
That
Like
being
when
said,
things go
last
through
year-
him.
What'd you say?
No, I said things be going through him so much that it kind of throws other people off.
But last year, with that being said, I did see him making people better. The games he played,
Yeah.
excluding the playoffs, in the regular season, he was doing his imitation of Jokic, I feel, and because he was making other people involved and making other people better, and I feel like that's Maxey's next step. Maxey can create a shot for himself anytime he wants, but the next step, he came into the league as a combo guard, and I think this year he takes that step into making other people better.
Yeah.
And once he knows how to, balance being a point guard with his scoring, I feel like that's what the Sixers need right there. That might be bigger than signing Paul George.
No,
if he can take a step.
I agree. When it comes down to it, Joe, the Sixers will go as far as Tyrese Maxey takes him, honestly, and there's no doubt about that. Like, I don't see anything else. Like last year, they went where they went, even with Joel going out, and he was able to hold the pieces together and get them to where they needed to get to. God, forbidden that it was only to just like the playing game and then the series with the Knicks, but like still, like for everything it's worth, he put the team on his back and really carried them into the playoffs, which speaks virtues of him. And then if we can see him ascend to a new level, who knows, maybe he could hit like a Shea
He did in the playoffs.
I know,
He
that's what I'm
did
saying.
in the playoffs.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, they were in the playoffs, but they lost in the first round. But I'm just saying, like, he could hit new levels where it could maybe even hit like a level of Anthony Edwards or even a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander type of level, just because of his skill sets and stuff, what he produces.
Honestly, I know everybody's talking about Ant like he's the next Michael Jordan and stuff, but from last year, I think Maxey had a better year than Ant.
I mean, what would the numbers say? I mean, impactful wise, I think Ant carries more of an impact in terms of his like what happened in the playoffs and everything. Like I think that definitely carries more merit and more like people notice that more.
25.9. Maxey averaged 26.9. So Maxey did average more points.
Right in the regular season, but also this is also given like in a spot where like he had to do more with like less around him. I mean, Anthony Edwards had like his streaks or whatever, but I mean, he had Cat, he had other guys on the team where they're gonna get the ball as well. So, including the sixth man of the year.
Joe, and Edwards is their number 1 scorer.
I know.
And he averaged less points than the Sixers' number 2 scorer.
Well, I mean, Joel was gone most of the year. That's what I'm saying. Like this guy's like his numbers went up because of Joel not being there, and I'm saying like Anthony's playing more with like more talent around him that commands more people to get the ball and get more points out of that. So that's the way I look at it.
I'm not saying Maxey's going to be better than Ant, by the way. I'm just saying last year I feel like they were pretty. Because Ant didn't play good in the playoffs. I seen some shit last year.
He did in the first round.
He didn't take the shots he needed to.
Well, like in the first round he did, and then even like the series with the Nuggets he looked pretty good. But then he started to
take the shots he needed to. Which one did they lose?
They lost to the Mavericks, and that's where things got bad for them.
He looked. I saw a few crucial shots he needed to take. He got into the mid range. All he needed to do was elevate to shoot to get open, and he didn't do it. He passed the ball. But Chris, what's your take? You know, I want to debate. What's your take? Who's coming out the East?
Definitely not the Sixers.
Oh God, this guy.
Definitely not the Sixers.
That was such an intelligent take. Who's coming out the East?
I didn't even start my take. I'm just letting you know right now. As long as Joel Embiid is your top guy and your biggest asset, the Sixers are not going to win shit.
Yeah.
That was said about Tatum last year. That was said about Tatum last year.
And guess what? You was wrong on that shit too.
Oh,
you.
I told you the same thing. I already knew Tatum.
I already knew Tatum. No, we're talking about different things. Relax. When we talking about Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Oh.
Yeah, we're bringing that shit back because I remember this conversation so well.
The same thing was said about Jason Tatum last year. That as long as he's on that team, he can't get it done. He's a choke artist.
As long as he's not the first option, they will win. They will win.
He is their first option.
Who won the Finals MVP?
Who had the most points per game?
Who won the accolades? Who won the trophy?
Who had the most
That's
points
so cute.
And hold on, how can somebody that's the first?
How can the first option, the one that scores the most points and does this and that, not win the Finals MVP?
But the first option usually gets the most shots, right?
So he should have had a big old trophy.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. He should have got the Finals MVP because he is the first option, but he didn't. Okay, you got that.
Jalen Brown.
He got the Finals MVP.
When it came to it, Tatum played like shit in the finals. Honestly, like yeah, his like numbers carried out a little bit, but I mean, it's so stacked. Yes,
we can't hear you, Joff.
I know. I'm saying this team is really stacked. Like
that's what I'm saying.
They do have a very stacked team. I don't know. I think they have a great chance, obviously, of repeating. And I think honestly, even though I was saying this shit about Jason Tatum last year, I think this year is going to be a breakout season for Jason Tatum. I think all the scrutiny from him sitting on the bench in the Olympics, from him not winning the Finals MVP, for everybody looking at him like he is the second option, I think Jason Tatum is about to have an MVP type year.
What is a breakout season for him? He's been in the MVP
but to actually win an MVP.
I think that's his goal. I think his real goal, Jason Tatum's goal, is to be the best Celtic of all time. Well, like obviously he can't ever be. He'll never be better than Bill Russell.
Who wins the championship? Who comes out the East?
Who comes out the East? Who I think?
I want to give it to. Honestly, I want to give it to the Knicks, but honestly, I think really Boston is probably going to take that shit again.
Yeah,
Boston is
I think it's
going
to be Boston.
Just because they have a great team. The Drew Holiday edition was the fucking icing on the cake.
He should have been the MVP.
Listen, he was great. He was great over there. This whole final series, did what he had to do. That whole team did what they had to fucking do.
Yo, listen, I'm gonna be honest. It's either gonna be them or maybe even the Bucks. I hate to say it, but we'll see.
If Giannis can stay healthy and be at that level where he won the whole thing, I think they have a great chance. And they didn't get rid of Chris Middleton either.
No, Middleton's still there. They picked up Gary Trent, and they still got Brook Lopez. But I think Doc Rivers might be the key factor of what holds them back or either makes them win. But for the most part, I think the way he coaches and his style, it's going to probably hold him back. I don't think that's an advantage in their sport. But we'll see. Who knows? There's, like I said, there's so many teams to keep an eye out for. Tibbs with the Knicks. Got Nick Nurse and the Sixers, and then don't forget about the Pacers. Don't sleep on them. I mean, they had their playoff run. They got better. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't even have a good playoffs, but like having Siakam, he had a great playoff run. Even Miles Turner. Who?
Halliburton?
Actually better than Halliburton.
I do too. I do.
He's
I
a
do
better
think.
Scorer.
I think I think he's better. Maybe not facilitator, obviously, because Halliburton
is like a better asset to have for your team.
Yeah, he's a better facilitator for sure. He's like a better version of Steve Nash.
If you have the Suns.
So, as many of us know, Pete Rose passed away on Monday, and it was a big shock to the MLB world, as many know the situation with Pete Rose, and for those that do not know the situation with Pete Rose, he has a lifetime ban from baseball. At one point in his life, in 1989, he was a gambling man and was also the manager of the Cincinnati Reds. He placed bets on the Reds to win, and when Major League Baseball found out, he was essentially banned for life. So now, given all of his resume and being the all-time hits leader in baseball, which is a remarkable thing because to hit a baseball is not an easy feat, and to do it 4,256 times during a span of 23 years is an incredible feat that will probably never ever be done again. At least so what I believe, especially with the way baseball is nowadays. I don't see it ever happening. Just saying. But with all that, Charlie Hustle has definitely has an impeccable resume that, like I said, no one will ever touch. No one will ever get close to that. So, being that he did something in the clubhouse, not on the field directly, and also it was in a way where he bet on his own team to win, he did pay the ultimate price, and I'm sure to this day that is something that he'll have to carry to his grave. Being banned away from baseball, shunned away. Yes, he has had tributes from playing from the Cincinnati Reds. They have honored him in a great light. The Philadelphia Phillies, he has won a World Series with them, and basically the reason why I'm talking about him because he did a lot for the city of Philadelphia in the year 1980 when they did win the World Series. And honestly, if Pete Rose never came to the Phillies, I don't think Michael Jack Schmidt, the best third baseman of all time, would actually be what he became. Honestly, I mean, I definitely feel Pete Rose helped take him to a new level, helped him see the field in a different light, and really kind of mentored Mike into being the great player that he is. I know Mike Schmidt has been very vocal about trying to get Pete Rose into the Hall of Fame, and to see where things are now in a gambling world, yes, athletes don't gamble, and they will be suspended if they do, especially with the tracking methods of today's world and everything you can't hide. And Pete Rose got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, and he paid the ultimate price. But to see where this world is now, no, at that time it was frowned upon, and today's world, gambling in sports is not a thing that is frowned upon. So to see how things turned out, it's definitely been in the conversation of things. Robert Manfred, the current commissioner of Major League Baseball, has inadvertently continued to deny the idea of putting Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. Now, given since there is another spectacle that is the Baseball Hall of Fame, yes, over years they've allowed more records to come into light in terms of having the Negro League records and stats be put into the Hall of Fame, which was huge. And also, the last couple years, though, there has been a lot of turmoil in terms of steroid abuse and players that have been caught with steroids and their eligibility into making it into the Hall of Fame. So they're almost in a black light and a blacklist, just like Pete Rose is. But unfortunately, they are still considered statistically members of the game. So that's where Pete Rose's situation becomes very sticky, and understandably so. But also in a new age of time where, like I'm saying, gambling is allowed, why not just put him in the Hall of Fame? Especially since most of the Hall of Fame, we would be recognizing him as a player in comparison to an action he did as a manager. And I feel, Robert Manfred, if you are listening, which you might possibly, who knows, but I feel the right thing to do if I was Robert Manfred would be to put Pete Rose unanimously into the Hall of Fame, given he won't be there to accept the award. But in terms of putting to rest this whole turmoil and this whole situation, I think it would be the right thing to do to put the Hit King into the Hall of Fame. I think he's garnished that right. His resume speaks for itself. He's a one-time National League MVP. He's won the batting title 3 times. He's a Silver Slug Award winner. He has done it all, and he should, be commemorated for it, not looked at in a light where it's been bad, where he has been shunned out to Las Vegas to make money and fend for his own. I believe in his final days, his health has taken a toll for the worse. I believe his issues of his cause of death was determined to be from hyperextension and also, cardiac issues that he was suffering. So overall, I think he would say he lived a good life. But to see how things, in terms of the thing that he loved the most, turn into that, it's a shame. It really is. And I think the right thing for Major League Baseball to do would be to put him in the Hall of Fame, honestly. And seeing how the last couple ballots haven't been that very impressive, I mean, we're looking at the 2024 ballot. Yes, players of my lifetime that I've seen, play and do a good job, like Adrian Beltre, probably a great all-time third baseman. I'll give it that. We're talking about Joe Mauer, I don't know about a sure shot first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, he was an MVP and kind of changed things as a catcher in today's baseball. And you have Todd Helton, a very solid player, for the Rockies, but never won anything. And then you have Jim Leyland, who is well recognized around the baseball world and used to light up a lot of heaters in the clubhouse. But for next year's ballot, I really don't see much that's really exciting. So I would think that on the 2025 ballot, it would be a good idea to put Pete Rose on there. I mean, we're looking at Billy Wagner, who just missed the cut last year with having over 400 saves, which is kind of a rare thing, and to put him in the Hall of Fame would be the right thing to do. Andrew Jones last year finished out with 62%, so maybe there's that chance that he can, ascend and be a Hall of Famer. I think his resume could check out. And then going down the list, we have some people with asterisks to their name, including Carlos Beltran and also Alex Rodriguez, Manny Ramirez, but those two are only at the lower part of their percentages, as anybody that is inducted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame needs at least 75% of common writers vote or a Major League Baseball committee vote. So to see where things line up, I could probably only see two guys maybe be making it into the Hall of Fame. So if I'm Major League Baseball and want to make this more of a serious event, I think this would definitely help push that and be a rememberable year for the Hall of Fame ballot if you were able to put the Hit King finally in, and deservedly so. I mean, he's been recognized and retired by the Reds and the Phillies for all he's done for those franchises, so I think it's only right to put Charlie Hustle in to the Hall of Fame, and that's my take. Rob Manfred, if you're listening, I think it's the best thing. I think you would be commemorated more for sticking up for Pete Rose than keeping your foot down on his neck, especially when he's not even around anymore to really, fend or speak up and cast his thoughts about being in the Hall of Fame anymore. I think it's just makes more sense. I mean, honestly, he served his lifetime ban, all right? He's not here anymore. His lifetime is over. Give the man the proper due and respect and put him in the Hall of Fame. Do the right thing, Robert Manfred. Do the right thing.